huge.
Good to go. We before we get out of this first half, let's shortly talk about some signing news that really isn't. It's news, but it's not really
right.
It's kind of out there.
Yeah.
So you're specifically talking about Thomas Chacon.
Yes.
Of Uruguay.
It's been floating for the last couple days now.
And
Friday,
it was literally...
It was late Friday.
It literally popped up Friday, and it blew up on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do we know about this guy?
Well, I don't know a whole lot, honestly. Beforehand, David Sterling might be able to help us out. But, I mean, bottom line, he's an 18-year-old Uruguayan attacking midfielder.
Yeah,
he's been a big part of the Uruguayan U17 and U20 system.
Yep. He's got 51 caps, I think.
Between those two.
Yep. Everything that I've read, obviously I know nothing about him beyond what I've read. Everything I've read is he's, Danubio, FC Danubio, where he's from, has churned out recent players such as Edison Cavani, who is obviously a very fantastic striker. Diego Florin also came from there. They've got some. There are some other ones that I just don't know but I know are fantastic players that have played in the past.
I guess
it's a good development system.
Yeah, and I guess what I want to get at is, the details are not released as we record this, so we can only speculate. But the bottom line is they're talking about a large transfer fee.
Yeah, multi-million dollars.
Yeah, so this could potentially be the largest, DP transfer fee / signing that the Minnesota United have made.
I would assume it would be because
it could be.
What? Jan was the most expensive, right?
Even ahead of Quintero,
like 2 point something.
I don't think Darwin was that big though.
Was it not? At the
I think Darwin was below $1 million. Even.
Yeah, because he was older.
Angelo, I think, was $1 million, .1 or 2, something like that.
Yeah. It's funny we bring up Darwin though, because on the broadcast on ESPN today, they were talking about the fact that this guy could be the potential replacement for Darwin. And Darwin's got an option next year.
Yep.
So for them to bring this guy in doesn't mean the beginning of the end of DQ in Minnesota.
No, I think it means they'll pick up Darwin's option because who wouldn't?
At this point, you'd have to pick up his option.
I think it's
because they're going to. And again, we're only speculating here, but like the details in order to sign Thomas Chacon, they're going to have to pay down presumably Angelo Rodriguez's DP status because Angelo Rodriguez is making $667,000, so they have to bring that down by roughly $150,000, which would be the cheapest.
And they have to get a spot.
International spot, yeah.
And so, of course, Schuler is the. There's been talks. There's been talks in the last couple weeks that he's going back to Finland because he doesn't want to. He wants to go home.
That's a possibility. However, within the rules of MLS, the Minnesota United would be allowed to trade for another additional international spot. So we can't sit here and assume that Schuler will be.
It would be logical, though.
It would be, but it's not the only way. Right. And, it'll be interesting. But getting back to Darwin, it seems foolish unless he's actively asking for a trade or transfer himself.
Now, Taylor,
he might be actively looking to go back to Colombia.
Yeah.
Well, now
that he wants to finish his career.
I'm just saying is you can have the best of both worlds. You can keep Quintero and
Quintero's
Chacon.
Not technically a 10. He's technically a right wing.
Because at the end of the day, how much are we going to? Let's sit here and assume that they are going to sign Chacon. Let's just assume that for a minute. How much are we going to see of him? Are we going to see enough over the last, 6 weeks to know that he's the answer to Darwin?
Not in a position like that. You need 10, 12 games.
And he's 18 years old. He'll be 19 next week, but he's young.
My friend Taylor Twellman on the old ESPN broadcast was saying that.
He's my friend too on Facebook.
Darwin should be gone because he's streaky and he shows up when he wants to, and when he doesn't show up, he's not there. And I get what he's saying. I am
but not one to challenge Taylor Twellman.
Half of the games that he shows up for, he shows up.
I know.
Yes, he is. He's over the line.
I would say that what you want is to keep Darwin for next season.
Mm-hmm.
Do a 1-year option.
Sure.
Have Chacon play in the 10 with Darwin at right wing.
Oh, okay.
Say bye-bye to Ethan Finley, because they should have a long time ago. And have a more versatile player like Miguel staying, because he can play multiple positions. Sure. You have Robin Lude on the left where he belongs, and you see what happens. Yeah. If Chacon is still too young, then you rotate him in and out. You bring Darwin back to the 10, and you rotate him in and out until he learns the ropes. I would think it would be insanely foolish to let Darwin go yet.
Yeah, I get it. I agree with you.
But that's what Twellman was saying.
Twellman was pretty much giving out the whole, well, they have an option, so I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where do you make a decision because he doesn't show up a lot. When he does, he's great.
True.
It's true. He's streaky.
And that's why he left Club America.
And he's gone into funks. We had a funk in the beginning of the year.
And I guess fortunately for Minnesota United, they don't have to make that decision now.
No, of course not.
They have quite a few more weeks left to go. Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
But it's also about getting younger, too. You bring an 18-year-old, that gets you very young.
It is, because they do there's several pieces of Minnesota United's success this year have been because of the older players that they brought in, specifically Ozzy, Alonso, Caparas. They aren't going to be around forever.
No.
So you do have to get younger eventually, but
And it's interesting to see. I think it was I'm going to probably butcher his name. Brian Korstrad. He used to be inside Minnesota Soccer. Then I think he helped start 55-1. He made a comment on Twitter, I think on Friday, about this kind of looks like a 3 to 5 year plan.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And
5-year
somebody,
I've been on that for a long time. I think I might even said 7 year plan.
Somebody responded and said something like, "For fuck's sake, we've already been buying this 3-year plan, and now it's going to be even longer."
I was selling the 5-year plan even before that was an option.
Yeah, and so I responded from our account and said, "Well, no, let's calm down. Think of it this way." The 3-year plan was that kind of initial phase, and then you're doing this new growth phase. A few years, and then you get into kind of a sustainability phase.
Because make no mistake, if you want to call it a 3-year plan or not, I mean, if that's what they want to call it, and they have publicly, it's working. Here we are sitting in week 22
in second place.
Second
fucking place.
It's
Remember
working.
that?
It's working.
But look at what we picked up in the offseason, though.
But it's part of the 3-year plan.
I can almost 3-year plan
without looking at the standings, I can almost guarantee you, I can tell you exactly where they were standing a year ago.
Oh, I know where
in about 10th place, maybe 9th, but
maybe 9th. Yeah,
it could have been.
And they picked up a shitload of talent in the offseason.
But that's the thing.
Your 3-year
they
plan.
did what they tried to do, and now. You look at Thomas Chacon, he would be the new guy to take over, who they brought in to build this 3-year plan. And you look at Dotson, he's the new guy to take over for, probably more like Jan Gregus slides over for Ozzy. Dotson comes in for Jan. And you see Gasper, he's playing well, and he's going to come in for whoever. And it's working.
It is.
St. Clair.
I feel like kind of last year, and certainly in the off season before everything happened, we would spend a lot of time criticizing, and maybe rightly so, the front office and Adrian Heath. We're certainly not doing that much this year.
No.
You can criticize Heath maybe for certain things, but
he still sucks at substitutions.
Yeah, it'd be hard pressed to criticize the front office, over the last 9 months.
But and our criticism though was warranted because they are the least transparent FO I've ever seen.
Yeah,
they don't tell us anything. So we have no idea what's going on. I mean, we didn't even know there was a 3-year plan.
Yeah.
Until 2.5 years in.
Exactly.
When they mentioned it in passing on a conference call that was only available for season ticket holders.
Well, I mean, again, this potential signing was actually a good thing they didn't release it because I'm guessing there was a lot of teams that were
I'm thinking
after this guy.
there were probably multiple teams.
Yeah. So it was a good thing they didn't release any of that.
And from what we know, basically from what Zagoda says on the strip, it's done deal.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's just these pieces fall into place.
It's a done deal with pieces that, like we said, we need the Minnesota United needs an international spot available, whether it's a trade or getting rid of somebody like a Schuler, and they need to pay down, assumably, Angelo Rodriguez's contract, and he needs to sign on the line, is what. And
the reality is, paying down Angelo's contract is the easiest part.
Right, and
at that point, it's they pay it down with the TAM they have, and they sign.
And that's where it kind of makes those moves that kind of fly under the radar for most fans. Probably is with those TAM-GAM acquisitions.
The Eric Miller trade.
Yeah, that's who knows.
Again,
I don't know. We don't have the numbers. I don't know that anybody does. But maybe that $50,000
that was part
for
of
Eric Miller. Maybe that got him over that hump. I mean, I don't. It's only
usually I think they say it's maybe $50,000 to $100,000 for an international spot.
Okay. So yeah,
Eric Miller's trade could have been part of the whole deal.
And I think I mentioned to somebody on a message, maybe it was a group, that now teams know we need a spot, so the value is going to go up a little bit. Yeah. But it's not unheard of for Don Garber to step in and be like,
"No,
dude, this deal needs to happen."
It's one of those things where you sit here maybe 2 weeks ago and you say, "Oh, well, $50,000 GAM for Eric Miller." I'd rather just have Eric Miller as defensive depth. You said that, yeah. I mean, but now if you look at it and they do end up signing Chacon, well, there you go. Yep. I mean, that's why you make moves like that.
And you have to think that's exactly why they made it.
You would hope so, yeah.
So, in closing, guys, I think we have a potential guy coming in.
Right.
And we'll probably say on the next podcast, I'm sure that'll be official.
It might be.
Well, it will be because the window closes next week.
Right. Yeah. August 9th is
so we'll be talking about him officially in 2 weeks if it happens. Yeah. So when we come back from the break, guys, we're going to talk about Portland again because, we play them on Wednesday.
I don't even think they're traveling home.
They're not. That's what they said on ESPN. They said they came in on Friday and they are going to be here through Wednesday.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of Portland fans hanging around Minneapolis.
So the three of us will be at the game.
Yes.
Which will be great.
Yep.
We're going to talk about, I think, the Dallas game coming up.
Yep. The following Saturday.
Week. Yep. We have some Plague. The Plague. And we're talking like Plague from like the 1800s.
Well, we are.
Yeah.
But not.
The Plague. I think it's, to be fair, it's only the bubonic plague. It's not like there's other versions of the plague. Yeah. But we'll get into that.
And we have an update on the meth gator.
Yes.
A sad update on the meth gator. So.
Or not.
Or a good update.
Good update, bad update, whatever. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes from BlackStack Brewing.
All right.
Welcome back, everybody. We're missing podcast. We're still at BlackStack Brewing. It is a very, how would I put, calm Sunday night here. If it was Saturday night, I'm sure this place would be bumping.
I have a feeling it would be.
But a lot of people have to work tomorrow, I'm sure.
Yeah.
As do all three of us.
Yes.
So
we should mention that when you come in here, it looks a little more crowded than it actually would be, at least from the parking lot.
Yeah,
because it's right next door to
Can Wonderland.
Can Wonderland. Yes.
Which is apparently a fantastic mini putt place.
It's a mini golf. Yeah, I heard a lot of things.
You can have a beer too and play mini golf.
Yeah, they've got craft beer there.
The Minnesota craft beers.
And then Flannel Jack's is right down the street.
Yeah, again, it's a hopping area.
Mm-hmm.
So we of course got some new beers.
All right.
I went with the, what did I call it? Let's see. What is it? Oh, the Meat Raffle, which is a Northeast DIPA. Was that a
double IPA?
Double IPA. Yeah. DIPA.
It is a DIPA.
I'll call it a DIPA. I had no problem with that. Sterling, what'd you get?
I got the chain wallet in recognition of my high school days when I wore a chain wallet.
Oh, sure.
And it is a New England IPA that's not a double.
Not a double.
But it's nice. It's got some tropical fruit flavors in there. It kind of tastes a little mango-y. Yeah, it's good.
What is an Idaho gem? That's what I want to know.
Well, so apparently it's a new variety of hops.
Yeah.